What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode number 13 of my Back to Front challenge on F1 2015. This is the 14th round of the championship, the Japanese Grand Prix from the Suzuka International Circuit, which is easily one of my favourite tracks in the Formula 1 calendar. Just a really flowing circuit, really, that I could quite easily do a full race distance on just in time trial mode, because it is just a fun, challenging circuit with lots of unique corners and just a great feel about the place as well. So we are currently 20 points behind Nico Rosberg in the drivers' standings after we finished second to him in Singapore, so he was able to open the gap up to us slightly, and he's on pole again today while we're starting in last, obviously. So it's going to be a very challenging race, a very interesting race, hopefully too. And if you can't tell, I'm doing a live commentary again for this race, so you'll be able to gauge my live reactions to what's going on out on track. We're going to start on the prime tyres and move on to the options, as has been a feature quite often in this series. So we're going to start the race now. 5 lights and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix, and as usual we don't get the best of starts. Merry and Will Stevens have pulled away slightly on the initial getaway, but we'll see what we can do in this first corner. And there were a couple of cars wide there. It looked like there was a Williams had gone wide, and Ericsson just cutting across the front of me there, but we've managed to get through up into 12th so far, so that's a pretty decent start. 8 places made up, and now we're looking up the inside of Grosjean. We had to take to the grass slightly on the inside, but we were still on track. That was a legal move, as we're now going to Degner for the middle sector, and there's a couple more positions. Verstappen and Maldonado, we've got past there, and now into this hairpin. There's a few more positions made up. We're up into P6. This has been a great start so far, and now we've got Felipe Nasr ahead of us somehow in the Sauber, which is interesting. Sauber certainly not one of the strongest cars out there, but hopefully we can make light work of getting past him, and it looks like we might be able to do so already. We're alongside, coming out of Spoon Curve, going up to 130R, and we're pretty much through now into 5th. And I can see Raikkonen ahead was trying to overtake someone, and now he's been slowed down, so we're going to be able to get the move on the inside of him into the chicane before the end of the first lap. Wow, we're in P4. That's the most positions that we've made up on the first lap of a race so far in this series. So from here, I think that we can pretty much just try and hold position for now, because we don't really have to do too much more in terms of overtaking to be in a good position for the later stint in the race when we're on the options, and these guys are going to be on the prime, so they're going to be struggling for grip and for pace. So that's an ideal start to this race. Has gone a little bit wide there, but hopefully now we can keep pace with these guys. Rosberg sets the fastest lap, although Vettel's actually gone quicker than him, and our pace is not too bad on the primes. We're only a few tenths off, and now we've got Raikkonen with the DRS going through into turn 1. Oh, and he's run wide. He overtook us and then ran wide, so a surprising mistake from Kimi Raikkonen, and we've managed to hold on to 4th place, but we're going to have to be very careful of the DRS going into turn 1. Raikkonen on a charge, having been overtaken by us earlier, so we just got to try and get a good run through the middle sector and hope that we've got enough of a margin ahead of him into turn 1 with the DRS on the next few laps. So we're coming down the pit straight again now, and Raikkonen is in the tow once more. We're going to go on the inside to try and defend, but Raikkonen just sweeps around the outside of us with the DRS, and he's not going to be making the same mistake again like he did on the previous lap. So that's Raikkonen up into 4th, which sees us drop down to 5th place. That's not a disaster though, I think. I think Raikkonen is looking very quick at this stage, we saw him, the reason that he initially fell behind us was because he was challenging the Williams of Massa up ahead. So if we can stay relatively close to Kimi, then I don't think this is too bad a result for us at the moment, although we're looking like we could challenge Kimi even in the next few corners. We didn't get a great exit there, but maybe into the hairpin we could have a look up the inside, which we are doing. I don't want to make contact with him, so we'll stick on the inside, and he's going to get a better run on the outside, so he's going to hold on to that 4th place for now. We're right in the toe here of Kimi, coming up to 130R. We're going to move to the inside, and it's going to be side by side going into 130R, and Kimi on the outside was forced to back down, and we've retaken P4. And even though we've been battling with Raikkonen, Massa hasn't really been able to pull away from us, so that's good news at this stage. It's a pretty steady looking gap to Massa at this stage, although he's in the pits. Wow, the end of lap 5, and the option runners are already pitting in for primes, and Raikkonen's going ahead of us again into what is now the lead of the race. So, and Raikkonen again going wide on the exit of turn 1 and leaving the door open for us to retake that position, which is now for P1. So we lead this race, and that means that the top 3 guys have all come in for prime tyres at the end of lap 5, which means that they've got an 8-lap stint on those tyres. So this really puts us at an advantage now, because surely by the time that we have pitted for options and got them up to temperature, those guys are really going to be struggling for grip. Let's look at the mini-map now to see what Raikkonen does. Raikkonen has pitted on the end of lap 6, so now we've got a couple of laps of running in clear air with no pressure on us. Our pit stop window is on lap 8, so we've got a couple of... Oh, Jesus. That was a lot of fishtailing going on there. So we're on lap 7 and our tyres are starting to go off a bit, but we are going to try and make this stint last up to lap 8, because we want to have fresh option tyres for as long as possible at the end of this race. So we've got this lap and then one more, and then we'll be coming into the pits to make our tyres stop. I'm interested now to see what the gap is to Rosberg, as we're going to be making our pit stop. It's about 12 seconds. It was about 13 a lap ago, so we were losing a second a lap towards the end of that stint there. But here's our pit stop, 2.2 seconds. Very nice pit stop indeed. And now we're going to see Rosberg retake the lead, and I think Vettel will come through and take 2nd place. And now this is where it gets interesting for us. Where are we going to be in relation to Massa? It looks like it's going to be very close going towards turn 1. Massa's coming up alongside us, and he's been forced wide because we were on the inside. But that's an important move for us to have made, to move up into 3rd place. So now we've got to catch and pass Sebastian Vettel and Nico Rosberg to take the win. We've got 5 laps to do it. The chase is well and truly on. We've closed in quite a lot on Vettel now. We're right up behind him as we come through the hairpin. And this is the run now towards Spoon. And we're in the slipstream. We're closing in on Sebastian Vettel here. Now it's just about picking our moment for an overtake, and it is right now happening. We've made the move up the inside into the 2nd part of the Spoon corner, which is a move I've never really made before in this game, so that was pretty awesome to get that done. And now we've got 4.6 seconds to make up on Nico Rosberg to win this race. That's about 1.5 seconds per lap. It's going to be a big ask, but we'll see what we can do now for the rest of this race. I think this has been a pretty solid lap for us as we're coming up to the line to start lap 12. What is the gap to Rosberg? It's under 3 seconds, so we've taken a huge chunk out of his lead on that lap alone. If If we can do that again in this lap, we'll pretty much be right on him as we start the last lap. You can see we're visibly closing down Rosberg, and we've taken more time out of him in that first sector. We tend to make up good time on the AI going through Degner as well, and you can just see with every corner that this gap is closing down. If we can get into DRS range for the start of the final lap, that could be the deciding factor. But I'm pushing so hard right now, and this track is really coming to me in a big way. I'm really getting the feel for it. This is probably the best I've driven around this circuit. But look at that, Rosberg locking up his brakes. And this is it right here, this is the race. We're on to the last lap. And look at us closing in hugely through turn 1. And we're right with him now. And now it's just a question of when do we make our move? The hairpin is one option. And then the chicane at the end. And look at us here, we're all over the back of Rosberg. What a dramatic conclusion to this race. A battle for the lead on the very last lap. And now we're coming up to the hairpin. This is one of the possible overtaking points. Looks like there's a back marker up ahead as well. We're going to go for it. And, oh, we touched Nico. I'm losing my voice here. And Nico's just going to hold on to the lead, but we are pretty much side by side now. We're going to get this done, surely. In Spoon Curb, we're on the inside, and we've done it. We're in the lead. With only a few corners to go, we have taken the lead from Nico Rosberg. What a move that was. We set it up coming out of the hairpin, and we've pulled away to well over a second already. So there's no chance for Rosberg to get back. What a race this has been. As we come up to the finish line to take the checkered flag, we've won it on the last lap. Unbelievable.
Fantastic drive, just fantastic. You deserve that race win.
So there it is, we've taken the race win from our teammate Nico Rosberg, with Sebastian Vettel finishing in third, and Raikkonen ended up beating Felipe Massa in that battle for fourth. And Bottas, it must have been, who was in the Williams, who had that shocking start, but he's recovered to finish in P7. What a race. I mean, there have been some dramatic moments in this series so far, but I think that tops the lot so far, just in terms of the battle at the front and the importance of that result in the championship. As you can see here, we're now only 13 points behind Nico Rosberg. It was 20. If we'd have lost that race, then Rosberg's lead would have been more than 25 points, which at this stage you would have to say is quite a comfortable margin. And there are the constructors' standings. I'm pretty sure that Mercedes are going to win that. The Ferrari boys look as though they're too far away at this stage. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching my latest episode. Please give it a like, and I will see you guys for the next race. Thanks for watching.